So Claudia Webb, the human NPC, is up for trial. She's up for sentencing today because she was found guilty. And the reason I call her an NPC is because I really think she is. And she is a perfect stock suit politician type.
Right.
And you'll see it through her tweets. So this is just the first thing here, the Crown Prosecution Service.
She seemed to go a bit rogue.
Yeah.
The NPC characters are supposed to blend into the background, not threaten acid attacks on people.
Blends in the Labour Party perfectly.
Yeah.
So this is the CPS reporting on what took place with her. And in here they mentioned that her sentence is up for today, November 4th. So she'll be in the court today, deciding whether or not she gets up to 10 years in jail.
Jeez.
Which is, well, probably deserved, because for people who don't remember, we'll go into the story, so we've got the next one on this. This is just the Independent reporting on it. The Standard. And they say in here, in one call Webb made to the woman she abused. So Webb called Mrs. Merritt a slag. Okay. Threatened her with acid and warned she would send naked pictures and videos to her daughters.
Jesus.
So there we are. This is the left-wing advocate for women's rights and women's safety in public life. And
tolerance and diversity.
Yes. Calling a lady down the phone a slag, and then she was going to send acid to her face and naked videos.
And had the woman been sleeping with her boyfriend, her partner?
So that's the accusation, is that I think her ex or her current boyfriend, God knows what's going on there, man.
Yeah.
You know? They turned up to the court holding hands as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So she thinks that he was sleeping with her or something, and quite frankly, I don't care.
Yeah, but I mean, it looks if they turned up to court holding hands, it clearly worked. It's clear if you want a woman out of your boyfriend's life, you got to get. I mean, you might go to jail for 10 years. Got
to disavow that legal advice right there.
Yeah,
some legal advice, well, it's relationship advice, I suppose, from you, isn't it? You'll get 10 years, but at least you'll get to keep your boyfriend's hand as you go to court together.
Write him letters from jail.
Well, apparently that's going to happen. So, in another call recorded by the complainant, Webb repeatedly warned the victim to, quote, get out of my relationship with partner Lester Thomas. Webb from Islington, North London, denied harassment, claiming she only made courtesy calls to warn Miss Merritt not to breach coronavirus regulations by meeting Mr. Thomas.
That's amazing.
That's
amazing.
You shouldn't have sex with my boyfriend because COVID. Yeah, that's what I was doing, Judge. Yeah,
I mean, surely the judge has got to take a couple of years off just for the sheer hilarity of that.
His sides just in pain from listening. Could you imagine they play the recording, because they've got the recordings, as they say.
Yeah.
And she's like, you slag.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I was just making a courtesy call. That's how I speak to all my female friends. Okay, yeah. So former Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn, ex-Shadow Chancellor John MacDonald, and former Home Secretary Diane Abbott, Shadow Home Secretary, were among those providing character witnesses for Webb.
Oh man, yeah, that's when you know. That's when you know you're a great person, when you've got Jeremy Corbyn and Diane Abbott like standing up for you.
The hoi four. I mean, you're literally scraping the barrel at that point. For just like I need some people to give statements about how I'm a good person. Let's call up Corbyn, Abbott, and MacDonald. International jokes, but okay. So she faces up to 10 years in jail for this harassment charge, which she has been found guilty of. And if she gets 12 months or more of suspended sentence or a custodial sentence, then she'll have an automatic election. So the seat will run up.
Oh, yeah, because, I mean, if she goes to jail, does she automatically forfeit the seat?
So if she gets 12 months, she's given 12 months either suspended or actually going to jail, which we're all hoping and desperately hoping that that's what happens.
Yeah.
Then there will be an election.
Right. But less than 12 months, you can still keep the seat. I mean, I take it there's going to be a lot of pressure to resign.
If there's less than 12 months, the pressure's already there. She doesn't seem to care.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a petition you can sign if you live in Leicester East, and if it gets 10% of the electorate, then there's a re-election.
Right.
So that's the rules. That's how that works. Which I'm sure there will be a re-election either way. But Claudia doesn't care for some reason. That, she's clearly insane. But I mean, an insane person wouldn't, would they? So this is what she's been up to, and I'm blocked because everyone got blocked after she got found guilty. She went on a blocking spree if anyone ever had interacted with her, except leftists. And this is some of the stuff she's been doing since, which is just like rando leftist nonsense. And this is why I say the human NPC, because she just does NPC things, just things my leftist base will like. So you see her posting here, 18 years ago, it was my absolute privilege to connect with Malcolm X's beautiful daughter, Atala Shabazz. Malcolm taught us all so much that still resonates today. And then there's her with some dress and hanging out with Malcolm X's daughter. Oh, okay. You been found guilty for harassment? Are you not? But no? Okay, so we move on. There's loads of this that's just weird. This one?
So this is stuff she's tweeting to sort of...
this is her public production since being found guilty.
Yeah.
What's she been up to? Renationalize water and sewage services for the common good of all. No response is allowed. Just as you can see there, no one is allowed to reply to that.
Yeah.
Okay. If we go on to the next one, there's just her, again, just leftist NPC talking points. Government warns schools not to teach white privilege. In doing so, they prove our very point. No one can reply. I think, right?
Yeah.
Hello, you were found guilty of harassment.
Yeah.
There's just actual NPC. We'll carry on, and there's more of these like weird tweets that just don't make sense. Africa has 17% of the world's population, but so far has received 2.6% of the world's vaccines. This is vaccine apartheid.
It's not vaccine apartheid, though. You know what I mean? Like the AstraZeneca Oxford vaccine. It was developed in Oxford. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe people in Oxford should get it first.
So it's
because that's where they made it.
If you pay for a thing,
yeah,
you should own it.
Yeah.
And if you don't pay for the thing, you don't own it.
Yeah.
And you get what you're given.
Yeah. It's like Africa's got like 98% of the world's zebra population. But Scotland doesn't get any zebras.
So
I don't know where I'm going with this.
Zebra apartheid,
it's
right
zebra
there.
apartheid because Scotland's not getting any zebras.
Yeah, it's not the Harare AstraZeneca vaccine. It's the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine. Anyway, so there's again just more like leftist talking points that don't make any sense. I mean, none of these make any like rational sense. There's no argument put forward. It's just left wingers are like this, okay?
Yeah.
And we'll continue because it gets even weirder. So if you get the next one, this is her saying, if you export bombs, don't complain about importing refugees. Only her followers can reply. This was the day before David Ames was stabbed to death by a refugee.
Really?
Yeah, so not. So we'll go to the next one here. She issued a apology, let's say, absolutely shocked and saddened to the senseless loss of David Ames.
Yeah.
Who did it, Claudia? It's a refugee.
We're
No
not allowed
thoughts
to
on that.
talk about it.
Yeah.
It's
So we carry on.
It's racist to mention it.
We have again just the night like the next day, restore the whip to Jeremy Corbyn. Like,
Kinky.
just back to this. I mean, this is what I mean. NPC. Like,
Yeah.
Nothing.
And wasn't Jeremy Corbyn actually suspended from the party for a brief time because of anti-Semitism?
He's still suspended.
Is he still suspended?
Yeah.
But she wants to bring him back in.
Yeah.
Right.
He's still out. I think she's out too. I think they kicked her out. They were like, please resign for the love of
so
Christ.
is she now basically, she's still sitting in her seat, but basically as an independent now?
Officially, yes. The same as Jeremy Corbyn. But that doesn't seem to matter at all. We'll get to that in a minute. But also, what else has she been up to apart from being MC? Fighting with randos for some reason. So we go to the next one here. We just have her writing the race card because she's a victim of racism, don't you know? This is not an appropriate way to speak to a person of color. No idea what the person said because no one saved it. But whatever. I've seen her past of playing the race card. If we carry on, we have someone else saying to her, "Did you shut up?" Essentially, she's on about like renationalizing water and sewage again because new update, and she's like, "Please be quiet." And her response, of course, is, "Well, that's white privilege." So we go to the next one here. We have her responding to that guy. Is it white privilege? Don't get to decide who is allowed a voice. Right. Okay. And the reason the race.
Oh man, this is like it's woke judo because you
it's
can't.
So basic,
there's no way. Like with the critical race theory stuff, if you think you're racist, then you're racist, and if you don't think you're racist, then you're racist, and you've got white fragility that doesn't let you recognize your racism. It's like there's no way out of this this sort of arm lock.
But also, he's essentially just saying, criminal MP, shut up.
Yeah.
In the same way of like corporate Twitter account, silence.
Yeah.
Right? And she's just like, yeah, white privilege. And the reason this is also relevant to the court case is she's playing the same thing in court.
Right.
I'm not joking. So we go to the next one here. This is a reporting on her response to being found guilty of harassment. Claudia Webb MP, who threatened to throw acid over somebody, has stated that she is, quote, a black woman in a white court.
Yeah.
The court was white. She's not a criminal.
Yeah.
Court's racist. Yeah. Court's trying to keep her brother down. I'm like, right. So you threatened to throw acid in a woman's face. We find you guilty. That's racism. Why? Because it affects brown people like me, says Claudia.
And what was the ethnicity of the woman she threatened? Do we know?
I don't know, actually. I assume white.
Right.
There was also a very weird situation in which I think it was either her partner or her ex-partner. There was brought into the court case that the police had been alerted that she was screaming, like Claudia was screaming one night.
Right.
And they were like, oh, what the hell's going on? So the next door neighbors called up the police. The police come round. And apparently her partner was beating her.
Jesus.
So domestic abuse. She refused to hand him over to the police or dob him into the police.
Right.
And her justification in the court was because the police are racist and therefore will not treat my abuser very well.
Right.
And therefore I'm not handing him over.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Again, I mean, we've covered this in the intersectionality podcast we did on lotuses.com, which people should check out. But the intersectionality really does come through, which is that their argument is that black women should just take the beating. And also, if they're ever found guilty in court of anything, well, that's that's individual justice,
Yeah.
not racial justice. What happened to her racial justice? Why she got individual justice?
Yeah.
Did the thing wrong, got found guilty.
Yeah.
That's
Which
what
is
she's
what
complaining about.
the criminal justice system is based on.
Exactly. That's the white system.
Yeah.
Well, no, seriously, that is what the complaint is.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
it's not a racial justice system, which is this voodoo nonsense, which essentially means that,
Yeah.
well, I may have committed the crime, Your Honor,
Yeah.
but I am black. At least I had the decency for that. Well, fair enough. Off you go. Enjoy yourself. Here, take this bottle of bleach with you.
Yeah.
Like that's what she's arguing for. Anyway, so this is all taking place, and she's going to be in the court today, being given her sentence. And since then, the Labour Party doesn't care.
Right.
Doesn't give a job.
Yeah.
It's not just her who's a hypocrite saying, women and all that, and then being like, hey, acid.
Yeah.
No, she's hanging out with the Labour Party, as we can see here from The Spectator. If we can scroll down on this one, you can see Labour MPs posed with convicted harasser. And there she is,
Yeah,
right next
yeah.
to David Lammy.
Right,
and
yeah.
Jeremy Corbyn.
Yeah.
And you can see in the centre Keir Starmer, or off to the left, I think the Shadow Home Secretary is there. You can see Diane Abbott on the far left there,
Yeah.
in her place as usual. And all of them.
And funnily enough, the seat so the previous politician in her seat was Keith Vaz, who was no stranger to controversy himself.
Male prostitutes.
Yeah, male prostitutes, and there were.
I think he wanted to buy them cocaine as well.
There was other stuff as well. Like he was suspended for like he made some sort of false allegation against. So yeah, he was. There are quite a few controversies.
Yeah, I mean, but this is why the court case with her is so interesting, and that election, which I mentioned, because, well, that seat has suffered with Labour MPs who have been unbelievably bad.
Yeah.
Keith Vaz.
Is
and
it
then
like a
this.
super safe Labour seat?
Used to be.
Right.
But then,
A lot of seats used to be.
a lot of seats used to be, so I'm really hoping that they'll actually flip on this one.
Right,
I don't even care who to, just not Labour, for God's sake. Anyway, you can see them all hanging out here. No problem whatsoever. She's been found guilty, and they're like, yeah, my buddy, my comrade. If we carry on from this, so if we get the next one, I just caught, of course, there are more images of this because they all proudly post them on social media.
Yeah.
And if you just scroll down on this one, so we don't need the image.
Was that picture taken on a Nintendo Game
No,
Watch?
I just had to take a screenshot.
I mean that is like 4 pixels.
Well, it's the image they provided, but it's just that you got Apsana Begum there, and then a whole bunch below as well of MPs who are all proudly posting photos with her. Like, this Labour MP who's not a Labour MP because we kicked her out because we wanted to leave. We actually don't care.
Yeah.
That's by their actions. They do not give a toss
Yeah.
about what she's been convicted of
Yeah.
and what she'll be sentenced for. Anyway, so that's Claudia Webb. That's one NPC. I thought we'd mention one more NPC.
Yep.
Because I love these people.
Yeah.
And as you can see, I've got a bit of a thing for just watching Labour MPs because it's like car crashes or something.
Yeah,
or,
yeah.
House fires or something like that. And it's just like, well, can't really look away. It's that awful. So if we carry on, we go to Sara Sultana, who was out there as well in between this with the refugees are welcome here placards. Again, 5 days after David MS was murdered by a refugee. I don't think that's coincidental, but what do I know? Anyway.
But man, this is what the left are like. So there's I remember after the truck attack in, was it Nice? It was somewhere in the south coast of France. Like basically, Islamists drove a truck and killed, there's all these families like picnicking and stuff for some event. And he drove a truck and killed like loads of them, like 50 of them or so. Just horrific attack. I know I know Islamist attacks are never nice, but this was particularly, horrific. And I was coming back from a gig in Bournemouth, and we were listening on the radio. The news was just breaking, and I was looking on Twitter as well, and a left-wing comedian, which doesn't narrow it down. It could be any comedian apart from me. But a left-wing comedian tweeted that she's since deleted the tweet. Tweeted that we mustn't forget the real victims of this tragedy, refugees trying to get into Britain. And it's like, how are you making that? I think the real victims of the tragedy are the actual victims.
No. The racism those refugees trying to make it to Britain from France, safe country, will suffer is just way worse than being killed by a truck.
Yeah. I
mean, do you know, what is it, Norm MacDonald?
Yeah.
I think the chap who died. Like, he has the best joke on this, and he told it straight, which is, he had a friend in an FBI, and his biggest fear is that some Islamists will get hold of a dirty bomb, and they'll let it off in New York, killing millions and millions of people, because then the blowback against innocent Muslims living in the West will be so dire that you won't be able to control it. I mean, it'll be the worst thing ever. And like the two people next to him went, yeah, that's right. That's right. And I can't tell to this day whether or not like she and the guy next to him were joking or not. I was just like, oh crap.
Yeah, no, I mean the ideology is so strong in some people on the left that genuinely wouldn't understand that that's satire.
No, they wouldn't get it. And I think this NPC is also one of them, Sara Sultana, because there's also a clip that's gone viral recently, which is great, which is her going on Politics Live and talking about how incredibly unsafe she feels in the chamber in Parliament. Because remember, they're all wearing masks, the Conservatives aren't. They weren't a week ago. They weren't a day from now when they're in the bar. But they want to make a big deal about it because, of course, left-wing politicians want to do that.
It's safetyism. I mean, I'm going to talk about safetyism in my segment as well, because it's the new sort of I'm offended, or you've done something, but it's really difficult it's harder to defend yourself against.
Yeah. But there's a wonderful segment in here because Julia Hartley-Brewer calls her out. But the best part is she just blurts out that yes, it is ideological. They don't give a toss about the safety. So let's play this clip and enjoy.
Right.
Incredibly unsafe in the chamber when I'm sitting there wearing a mask and I look across the benches and I see most of the Tories not wearing masks. It makes me feel unsafe. It makes my colleagues unsafe.
When no one was wearing a mask.
They should have worn masks.
But Labour Party, did you feel unsafe sitting at Labour Party conference?
I'm sitting in the chamber, which can be very packed.
Not wearing masks.
I can sit in the chamber wearing a mask and I look across and I see hundreds of MPs not wearing masks. There are vulnerable MPs also sitting there, and I think it's a dangerous message to send to the rest of the country.
And is it about a message? Because, I mean, Julia's point anecdotally, but Julia's point that Labour MPs weren't wearing them at party conference, should they have been?
I think when we look at the case rate now, when we look at the issues in Parliament, when we look at the messaging that's coming out of the Speaker's office, this is dangerous to other people's public health. I think MPs should be wearing it in the chamber and around the estate as well.
Why are you wearing one now?
Right, well...
because we're in the studio, we're socially distanced.
Now it's safe.
Have you seen how claustrophobic he can get in there?
Right, well...
I love it, Julia.
Hang on, you two. Hang on.
It is ideological.
Hang on, let me just come back to the issue in the chamber.
It is ideological.
Just blurts out at the end there. It is ideological.
I love how happy with herself. Look, Julia, before she said anything, she just knew she'd had a total slam dunk.
Yeah,
it's great.
I really enjoy Julia's stuff. Like she doesn't take any prisoners, but also there is, of course, the point, as Chris Rose points out here. There's just the images, you dullards, because you all took photos of yourselves and posted them online because you people can't get off social media. And here's you hanging out, incidentally, with the lady on the left there. I don't know if you recognize her in the orange. She was the one who was heckling Keir Starmer in the middle of his speech when he was talking about dead mum.
Oh, right.
Keir Starmer was like, so my dead mum. And she was like, well, this is my moment. And kind of heckling it.
And I've got to be honest, like those Labour Party conference delegates, they look like they've got more communicable diseases than the Tories in the chamber.
Yeah.
You know?
Anyway, but
I want a mask on them.
I mean, I wouldn't want to hang around them without it if you could help it. So yeah, that's two NPCs here, and there are many more because that's all the left is made of these days. And I thought we'd just enjoy that. We don't have the news currently about what the sentencing says for Claudia Webb.
Right.
If we do, I guess we'll put it in the comments or something.
Yeah.
But either way, I'm going to be a happy bunny. So try not to enjoy it too much.
Thanks for watching this clip from the podcast of the Lotus Eaters. We broadcast live on lotuseaters.com at 1 PM UK time every weekday. And we also have loads more content that we don't put on YouTube, such as the memes and video comments from our community. Every week we also have new episodes of our regular series, Contemplations and Epochs. In Contemplations, Josh explores interesting and diverse topics, such as the science behind the need for fathers in the home, or why people believe in ghosts and the paranormal. In Epochs, Bo and I go on, often at length, about various events and periods in history that are particularly fascinating. We've just finished a 5-part mini-series on the 100 Years' War, which I particularly enjoyed right up until the end of it when, spoiler alert, the French won. Alongside our excellent team of in-house writers, we also commission articles from outside contributors, and silver and gold tier subscribers have access to an audio recording of each premium article, so you don't have to read it yourself. We interview various contemporary thinkers and entertainers, as well as host the recordings of our live events. We also have a series of premium video content on the site, which we think is particularly worthwhile, or we simply can't put on YouTube because their editorial policies prohibit reasonable discussion on the subject. Personally, I think the deep dives we've been doing into critical theory and critical race theory are most important, as we reveal the origins of intersectionality and the plan that the radical left has for our societies. We are funded almost exclusively by our subscribers, so if you'd like to join us in the work we're doing, head over to lotuseaters.com and we'll see you there.